Hello, welcome to the full release of Ratopia. This is an amazing game, an amazing colony sim, and it has a lot of good things. To be honest, it doesn't have a lot of bad things, but let's talk about the bad things first of all. Now, the issue is that the game is great, but we don't have a lot of gameplay modes. You just play a sandbox type of game. You have a lot of objectives, you have dungeons, you have a lot of diplomacy, it's all procedurally generated, but you don't have a lot of stuff to do. You basically play the same game over and over, and it's a very long game. And the only thing you can unlock is, well, a little bit of new stuff for the leader. You have a few customization options, and you also have a few starting skills, starting backgrounds. I always choose the prestigious color, just like to have more stuff so I can get my colony going much faster. And then you unlock some stuff for your flag, and that's about it. So you basically unlock the clothes for the leader and some stuff for the flag. And the rest of the stuff doesn't look as royal or as interesting. Middle class, upper class. Huh. And some other stuff. So yeah, it's not that much customization. So beyond being a great colony C manager, it doesn't really have anything else going for it. So I hope the developers will add some DLCs or something, more gameplay modes, even some multiplayer, because right now the game supports multiplayer in a very interesting way, but it doesn't have it. So you can basically go to other locations and attack them. You can also take your army and explore dungeons and fight bosses. You can also hire mercenaries. You can also trade with other locations. You can also send the mice on expeditions. You also have robots. You also have to make sure your groups are happy, and you also have to make sure you solve the class problem. You can have the middle class, lower class, upper class, and so on. There are a lot of great things about the game, but I think the game needs much more than that. It needs either a persistent multiplayer mode, or at least a sort of a campaign where you have different objectives, or, you know, like Craft the World, where you have multiple planets to play on. Otherwise, you'll just be kind of stuck using the modes, and the modes will basically make the game easier. So what do we have in the game currently? We have the leader that I spoke, the customization, settlement over here. You should always choose balance if you don't know what to do, because the way this works, the upper biome means the entire upper area of the map. So if you go with the jungle, you might find it hard. If you go with the desert again, it's not for everyone. You have to know how to play the game to take advantage of these things. I don't know why the developers even introduced them, because the structure of the game is per biome. So you have 1 biome, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 biomes in total when you go lower. So if you find the lower biome stuff in the upper biome, it will make things so much easier or so much harder if you don't know how to interact with those things. That's one of the additions, and you can also unlock more stuff for the flag. Let me see. The pattern, some patterns, yeah, we can unlock some patterns. Pattern colors, okay. And that's about it. Sadly, that's about it. The difficulty... Also, I don't like how they manage the difficulty. So instead of just balancing the game better, they just made it so you can only play... Basically, normal, easy, and peaceful is the same thing. Hard is just harder. The only thing I would say over here is that you didn't need this many difficulties. I would say that normal and hard were plenty enough. Some people complain normal was too hard, but it's supposed to be hard. Otherwise, the game is a building sim, and that's going to be a lot harder. So I would suggest that developers only leave normal and a tick box to disable invasions, and that's about it. You still have your problems, your rebellions, and your other things, but I don't know. If you play on easy, you'll play and then stop and then restart on normal, and then you'll notice it's the same thing but much more interesting, and you know how to play the game much better, so it will not be that much of difference. So I recommend you learn the game on normal and then switch to hard. Otherwise, if you go on easy and then normal, you will not like it. There's not much that changes over time. Sometimes you get luckier, sometimes you'll get less lucky, sometimes you'll just get a better colony blueprint, but most of the times it will not be that interesting. So let me show you how my current colony is doing. I think it saved the previous game, or no, let me see. Game, show me what you have. Yeah. So as you can see, this is kind of like my setup. You'll have to count the squares. I'm not going into details right now about all of this stuff and why I build it like this. As you can see, that's another biome, the desert biome. This is kind of like the water biome with the fishes and stuff and some other stuff. It is going to get super interesting and super hard at the same time. Now, hard difficulty is, I think, the only way to play the game for me. Otherwise, you have no challenge and there's nothing for you to do in a way. Because the difficulty keeps you on your toes and keeps you progressing more and more. Also, if the biome is not what I need, I'll have to restart the game and I'll also have to... Maybe I'll edit it out. Let's see if we get lucky on the first biome. If this is not good enough, I'll have to reroll off camera. So you basically want a few rabbit holes near your base. There's always a big tree on the left or on the right. But you don't want a big hole. Yeah, that's a big hole. You don't want a big hole because you have nowhere to build. And the other side will be the tree. Like the sword. You'll always have the tree, but if there's nothing, if the area is barren, you'll just struggle a lot. So I will be right back with the appropriate biome and I'll tell you why it's good. Okay, so this is the best I could get and we're not going to do it further. As you can see, we have 2 rabbit holes, we have some grass, we have some flowers. So 3 rabbit holes, well, 2 are accessible more or less. Grain, trees and some other stuff. And to the right there will be the huge tree, so you'll always have one huge tree on one side. Sometimes it has water, sometimes it doesn't. And this is the research points, prosperity level. You get a nice bonus when you get to the next prosperity level. Food, you need a lot of it. Population, 2 orders, Umbran and Purgons. Happiness, savings. So your first goal is to get a lot of resources and especially collect resources for the first time. Because you'll get a research point. Also destroy this tree over here because I need to go below. Down under the base. Also need a lot of grass. We also need the flowers. I'll just take the flower right now so I have the extra research point. What's that thingy? Encyclopedia. Oh yeah, we have the encyclopedia as a new thing. We have the enemies over there, the bunnies. Oh, it shows you the HP, attack power, spawn location. No resources you can obtain. Interesting. Also, the way I build my base, as you see, I will need to go over here. Because the elevator will be over there, so that means we need to start building the ladder down below. You can also use kind of like a cheesy way to do this, which, well, I guess you shouldn't do this, but hey. As you can see, capture mode will allow you to see the entire area around your base and, well, if you're a pro player or at least you have some idea of what you need, you can look around your base. Sometimes you can even see more than it should be revealed, but eh. I guess we'll try and preserve that grain for a while. So, ladder. Over here it will be the ground level. This will be where I build my little train system, which means this is the train system level. This is the thingy for the train system, the support. Oh boy. So yeah, these tiles are inaccessible and this will need to be a 3 wide tile. Which means I need to build a floor, which will be even more annoying. Rats. Well, I'm not going to change my build order, and the grain seeds I'll have to keep for later. So, take the dirt over there. Get the leaves. As you can see, the queen can carry only 3 in the beginning, and later on, as we will play more of the game, she'll be much better, much stronger. Collect this grass as well. You have no idea how hectic the game will become after a while. This is the fun portion of the game and kind of like the easy going one. Oh, those are snails. That's horrible. Sorry about the noise. We cannot do anything about it. It's just that we got like with some resources that we need for later. Also, mining through various objects requires more power. That's only 30 HP, this is 75 HP, so that's why it can take a little longer to go through some tougher materials. And sadly, I kind of have to manage the grass. It's the silkworms. So this will take a little longer to build because of the shape. Oh, what am I carrying? So why doesn't it let me build that? Oh. Because with tab you modify the resource you are looking at and interacting with. Let me do it like this. Huh. Well, this is going to be annoying. I guess we'll have to use the resources that we get from here to build the tile first. Sorry about the wiggly, squiggly sounds. This was the best base I can find. Okay, and here it will be built. The portal to the kingdom. So you can mine up to 3 tiles, 1 to 3, but you see the limitations. Yeah, sadly I'll have to destroy all of that. I guess I'll need that for later, but for now we just need to build our base the proper way. Oh, that's copper. Okay, so let's start building stuff. So the royal thing will have the things we want. We have to start with the city entrance, which needs stone, which we don't have in our storage. One of the things I wish they would change is needing to have the material in your storage to put down the blueprint. Because right now it will force me to put the blueprint in, to put the materials in, take them out. Then go back over here and then I can build it. Again, leave one space for the elevators. Because it will be super hard. Yeah, I have to destroy that before I start building. It's kind of a big problem. I guess I could go all the way up to get the resources, but at the same time I can just simply mine this area over here and get to that wood over there. So yeah, I just want to level up the character, that's why I choose the extra experience as a bonus. There. 20% more experience, which means we level up the strength, dexterity, intelligence faster. Oh, those worms are so annoying. Lower the sound a little bit. It's a little better, but not much better. So yeah, once you start building the gate, you can cheese the game a little bit and I'll show you how. So save the game. Take the migrants. And get what you need, or what you like. The ones with 30 extra HP are good warriors, obviously. The ones with skillful production efficiency are super good. You need a lot of skillful workers, and the rest of them will just be easier to maintain. Playful is bad, yeah, it's exactly how it sounds, it's a bad thing. I wish it would be a little easier to see if it's bad or good. But normally if it looks horrible, it's bad. This is bad, this is good. This is good, it's bad. Trying is not going to be helpful for anyone. Also, let me see, yeah, so this is the game I'm using. I played a lot. The date's 2023, I've been playing the game since 2023. And if you reload, you'll get actually a different type of mice, a different type of citizens when you see the reroll, which is kind of a... I don't know, I think they should have fixed this by now, but let's check. Yeah, see, they still change. So you can basically re-roll this by reloading the game as many times as you like until you get the mice you want. Because most of the times in the beginning you will want to do this so you can get at least one mice with the production efficiency. I think in about 4 or 5 mice with production efficiency. Production efficiency just means you will need less time to make the stuff happen. So if something needs 100 productivity, that means you need the mouse to produce 100 productivity for that item, which just means a lot of lost time. So 20%, so that's basically that's 20% faster. Happiness is great, but fragile is very bad overall. Well, since I had a good mouse before I started reloading, I'll play a little more until I have one that has the productivity bonus. Now this is the final time, the first and the final time I'll be doing this, because it can get really addictive, because you don't want to get bad mice in your colony. In the beginning, in your first 2 or 3 colonies, you'll just lose based on the fact that you got bad mice. Very bad mice. So this is very bad. This mouse will be super unhappy. Militant will be happy. This is actually, this is a very easy to understand mouse, and if you make this one a soldier, it will be much happier as well. Moving speed minus 10% can be horrible in the long run, because think of the lost productivity. So in the beginning, or at least the first 2 or 3 mouse or mice summonings, you should not take mice with bad traits. Because if your backbone, the colony backbone starts to level up, let's say they have 4 or 5 in some of their attributes, and things go very bad and they die or they have issues, well, that's kind of it for the colony. This is so good. I wish I could recruit both of these guys. Look at this. So skillful and happy. Optimistic, I mean. And hardy and militant. These two are very rare combinations. So happy worker and a proud soldier. Yeah, I like that. Foolish and pacifist. Yeah, imagine if you had someone like this as a soldier. Horrible. Brave warrior and street poet. So the poet is a warrior and the warrior is a worker. Great, just great. They also come with this resource. Sometimes they'll bring gold or other rare resources. So you might want to see what resource they have. Sometimes you just choose something like this if they bring a good enough resource. Actually, no, let's start working on the research desk because we need to start researching. Okay, we need something else. Okay, so I guess you just have to start with the sawmill and then the laboratory. I didn't want him to do that, but okay. Guess some resources fell down. Okay. So I'll need more mice very fast. And this guy is supposed to be the one that helps me around, but usually you want to get the group of 2 mice for the first recruitment. And if they don't have a job, they'll just follow your orders, which means mining, constructing and stuff like this. So let me see, this will also be a free spot thing. I don't want to destroy the grain, but I don't have a choice because of the way it's constructed. Yeah, I'll have to destroy that silk nest. Maybe I'll keep the next tier of silk. Okay, let's start gathering some resources and then we'll have to plan for the upper part of the base. Which I think I'll change this a little bit. Yeah, let me change my normal loadout all. Start building business stuff over here, or not business, productivity stuff over here. And I'll go upward a little bit later, because you can change the locations of buildings very fast and very easy. But the harder part will be changing the mice and stuff. Anyway, you get the idea. We can move 1 or 2 productivity buildings once we have a bigger population. Yeah, that sounds better. This this is where it will be the workshop. Now you want to build everything that produces stuff near the storage. Pity the sawmill. It's okay. Okay, new migrants have arrived. Oh, look at that, another optimistic worker. And one of the issues is that they don't really obey the orders in a strict form. So sometimes you'll have to give them the order or just do the thing yourself. I also want more food available. So let's get the food up and running. I mean, we'll get attacked at some point, but until then we have a little bit of free space. So... Coco will be the sawmiller. Still, we cannot do the processing jobs because I really like to do some sawmilling. I want to do this. Oh, I can just do it like this, I guess. Also mind that copper ore over there, that would be great. Okay, I have to remember not to be a slacker because this time will go very fast and then we'll get attacked and then it will be horrible. So the next thing I will need is a toilet, and the toilet will have to go over here. This will be very hard to change once it's put down, so I'll just start doing that right now. You see we have 20 food, 11 research points. Prosperity is not that bad. Prosperity is based on your mice, your population, your buildings and some other stuff, but usually you don't want to go to the next level because upgrading your prosperity also means harder attacks, or how should I put it, harder to defend attacks. So the bigger your prosperity, the stronger the attack will be. So I suggest you just delay prosperity a little bit more. And you know, risking getting attacked. Attacks will happen anyway, but you don't want them to be too strong. Intelligent, pessimistic. Well, that's how most people are in life, right? Said in the beginning, I recommend you recruit at least one mice every cycle. Sometimes you'll get two, but that situation was just too bad. I think. Oh, we leveled up, so as you can see now we can carry 4 things because we leveled up our strength. Look at that, the mouse over there leveled up the strength as well, so they become better at their job. So using a starter mice is going to be a hard hit, so try to preserve your first 10 mice. As you can see, I'm just gathering the stuff so they will know what to do with them. At some point we'll be able to harvest the grain in 2 hits. Oh, I hate that sometimes. It's a little bit janky. You'll have to get used to the idea of picking up items from the same background and foreground using tab. By the way, the bunnies will fight back, so they're not really ideal, and they also will kill your mice sometimes. I don't mean kill as in kill permanently, they'll just wound them and then you need to bring them to hospital bed. We can give orders, but I don't want to give them any order except pick up stuff for now. And we'll need a lot of leaves for the ladders and some other stuff. I think we have done enough to kickstart our stuff. And then we'll need the laboratory 100%, since you always want to research stuff. the mice working in the laboratory will just produce research points, which obviously will be very, very good a bit later. So yeah, the faster you can research stuff, the faster you can get your colony on the right trajectory. Because otherwise you'll just get stuck. You need so many things. It might not seem like it, they just need food and shelter for now, but yeah, it's going to be harder to maintain. Plus you have to think about money and some other stuff. Okay, so the first thing I will need is the bunk bed. Some people use the better beds, but I don't deserve them. I'm joking. We'll build them better beds a little bit later, but for now we'll get the bunk bed. What do I want beyond that? The blocks are also nice because the blocks will give you more speed when you walk on them. That's 15%. I think the jungle blocks will give you more speed when you're on them. Also, some of them will decrease the enemy speed. That means you have to put them outside of the working area of your colony. It's a very complex game, that's why I like it so much. So, let me see what I would need over here. I forgot my exact build order. We need to get taxes up and running as fast as possible also. So let me see. The code stone. Yeah, so taxes. Sadly, taxes will have a very big importance, and here is where we research the spells and the electricity. We can defend stuff on our own for a while. The royal bed, plus you have to see what they need. It needs fabric and plank. So that means we need to also get into fabrics. The weaving mill will produce fabrics using leaves. So be careful with your leaf. This is also why you need a lot of them. Well, I guess I don't want to do all of the things alone or manually. Well, that's all of the slots we had anyway. Hello, new people. Anarchist, no! Step away from me, anarchist. Enjoy decline rate, militant, anarchist. The anarchist is very bad. Frugal is decent. I guess we'll take frugal. That's so bad because the more unhappy they are, the more they want to rebel. And rebellion grows like a plague or fire in this game. But that will be kind of annoying a bit later on. The copper is also used to make military buildings and some other stuff. We don't really need it right now, but I'll just take it so we have more research points to play around with. Let's get started on building the upper part of the base. Usually I like to build it like this, but the trees will be a problem because they'll stop growing if you build... I think the trees need at least 3. But that's a bit of a waste in my opinion, so we'll have to find trees somewhere else. Yeah, it will get annoying. To actually plant the trees you need to do a lot of work, and I'm not really prepared to do the work. We don't really need a lot of flowers, so we'll just keep the minimum up. I'm thinking right now, so no, I don't want to hunt bunnies until I have someone with the medical bed. Sadly, they have these weird issues where, as you can see, they're not really gathering the grain or other resources. You just make them gather like that. The bunk beds are being researched. Yeah, I might as well move the broad tree leaves. Now they are ready. I I need the circus thingy, the entertainment. So the circus stand is the best entertainment for everyone, but you can also just get the music stage, but the music stage can only be used after you make the tax stone. So I'm not sure if I should make it right now. I'm sorry, I forgot how many tiles, 3 tiles I need for the circus stand. I guess 4 should be enough, I don't know. Well, we still have to unlock both of them before we get to the music stage, so it doesn't really matter. I also think I'll need more wood. Let's get the wood. Yeah, I just recommend you do all of the hard labor yourself in the beginning, so you don't fall behind. Come on, dice roll. Give me good mice. Decent mice. Not really. A pacifist. A quiet pacifist. Athletic. I think I prefer athletic. We can use the athletic mouse for hunting. Where am I going to put the stone code? Because the stone code annoyingly needs one more point. There. That's actually a pretty good spot. Be careful, because if that gets destroyed, you will no longer have any lows. So without any lows, that will be a little bit harder. And they also need to sleep in a bed, because their stamina regenerates faster in a bed. They also heal in a bed as well. Slower, but they'll heal as well. Hey, no. So, I also want the dirt blocks for obvious reasons, but we don't have enough dirt for the increased movement speed, so everything will be dirt blocks. I guess I don't really need the weaving mill this fast, but I'll just try to take it. Oh wow, we need the stones. We need, I mean, the wooden stick, so that means we need another sawmill as fast as possible. Looks angry, looks very, very angry. So let's do the taxes. So, the tax. You basically want to tax everyone with a very high amount. Now, this is a bit of a discussion, and I never really got to make a better one. So we'll just tax everyone 40% of their wealth every single day. And that will be called VAT, but it's not really VAT. Okay, just don't think too much about it. Apply and exit. Commercial laws. So every time they use... No. I don't think I used to tax them for food. Service fee for the toilet. The price for using the toilet will be 20. Because they use the toilet every day. So not only are we taxing their daily income, we're also taxing their toilet usage. And then we'll have the welfare law, periodic subsidy. I'm not sure how people are supposed to know all of this by just playing the game regularly, but... So they'll get 200 coins each time they are... Standard... No, wealth. Whenever they have less than 200 coins, they'll get 200 more. Which means they'll never starve or they'll never run out of money, because they'll just have a lot of other stuff to do with it. It's not really ideal, like I keep saying, but... every day they'll get money when they go below a certain threshold. And you have a certain amount of maximum laws you can pass, so that's kind of annoying. Labor law. I don't recommend you play with the schedules, because they're very annoying to deal with, especially because they can be super bad. So just leave it there like that. You can prioritize something or do something like something. Don't think too much about that, because all you need to think about is productivity and advancing your thingies. Also need to get dirt. We got some movement bonuses. There's no structure, there's no over there. Wrigley sound. I think we cannot use the music stage until we get another low point. But we'll research it now and we'll build. It gives a little more points, but we need more resources. We'll build the circuit stand over there. This is actually us building the base properly. Ugh, that's annoying. Okay, fine, I'll have to take all of the dirt on my own. So yeah, I want to get done with all of this stuff. I guess we need more of that. You can also just make until X and do stuff like that, but that's going to be really annoying. Oh god. No, we need the planks. I'll not mess around with stuff like this for now. We need the planks, and over here we need another Ratison to work, which will be Camilla, because she has the production efficiency. We were already getting a little bit overwhelmed. Finally some more mice to help out. I recommend you stop at about 10 in the beginning. Don't advance too fast. It's the worst thing you can do. Wow. He cries, but he's a good soldier, wasn't he? I guess he's a poet warrior. That is done. So each bunk bed can hold 2 mice, so that means we'll need 5 of them over here. I'm looking at the food as well. Since if it drops below a certain threshold, I'll have to go and make the hunter hut. Also, yeah, I think it's better to not give them any orders and do the work yourself, because look at them, they're working so much and so fast. And I'm just building stuff. Asia. This is a level 1 attack, so it's probably going to be only 1 or 2 enemies. Okay, where is our clown? Our clown will be... an intelligent clown. That's kind of sad, but we cannot do anything about it. Also, you want to put all of the beds on automatic. This is another big issue. I think this should be automatically on automatically. Because so many people will forget to do that. Even I forget to do that a lot of times. Yes, we have a very strong queen right now. Might as well do it until that point. And then if we put it like this, it will work. Now, I don't like to have more than 5 bunk beds on a roll, because then it will get really crowded. I guess you'll also have to figure some things out as well, but for now it's okay. carry more resources over here. Remember, we're using up a lot of wood, so that means we have 0 wood left, and you have to notice these things in time. If you don't notice those things in time, well, you'll be in a lot of trouble as well. And these buildings will stop producing resources. Let me destroy that since it's useless. Yeah, I need a lot of mice to work on this stuff. Sometimes you're lucky and you're very close to the tree and you can just farm the tree, but this time... I guess maybe it's because of the difficulty, but the maps that are generated, I think I tried about 30 seeds for 30 minutes, and actually for more than 30 minutes. Some of the map generations I was getting were very bad. Were very bad. Also, when you're building below it, it will deactivate the building itself. So this is not really ideal, but I also want to get more work done. They've improved a lot of things, I like it. I think the game will be very enjoyable. I think the game needs a little bit of polish on the graphic side, a little bit, like more animations, like this shouldn't be so static, you only have a little bit of movement. Other than that, I feel like everything is okay. Also, you don't want to open up the base too much, so whenever I build something new or when I take a new mouse or a new a new villager, mice, rats, villagers, whenever I will take someone new or build something new, that means we'll go to prosperity tier 2 and the attacks will be much stronger, so I'm trying to avoid that by just hanging on to the resources we have. If you're wondering, why just advance? Well, why not just stay at the current prosperity level? Because the seasons will change and the attacks will get stronger over time anyway. So you just have to advance at a steady pace, not too fast, not too slow. A huge bunny. Yeah, so things are going relatively okay. We need to hurry on certain things. I think we're not researching anything which is bad. You always have to research stuff. We also need to make some kind of an army. We'll need a hunter hut, which will go into the butcher. That will fix the food situation more or less, and then I'll need the logging camp to just, I don't know, get some wood whenever they can. And then we'll need to go into the... Where is it? The silviculture post, which will make all of the plants grow faster. That's going to be a lot of work. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's going to be much harder than it seems right now. The bunnies are here. Interesting. Didn't know bunnies will spawn so deep into the ground, because that's basically the second tier of the biome. Who said the hoyo? Don't know. So yeah, remember to put everything on auto, so you don't have to work around that. This will mean that the mice that work closest to the locations will sleep here. The mice that live and work in other locations will need other bunk beds and other stuff made. I think I can squeeze one more bunk bed in there. We have rain so fast. Okay. So we'll just keep this for next time. And that's me explaining a lot of the stuff you need to know and how to start your first colony. Now you know enough to play the game on normal, but you need to explore a lot of things on your own, and I need to work out what resources I find, how to advance the colony, how to research. And see, research is severely limited. We only have 2 points left, and we haven't even started to get all of the basic stuff. Anyway, see you next time. Bye bye.